first impression review. I'm about 3 minutes in, 3 minutes, 10 seconds, just as a mental note, because I clip these for the next day. Okay, so the review portion only. We're going to get into this by saying this is by far one of the dumbest things I've probably ever seen on TV in a while. My God, this was stupid. I often seriously wonder if anybody working on this show, outside of people doing the effects, because the Walker effects, they clearly have some sort of interest and passion in that zombies, something in that realm, because they do look great. And maybe people that are on set, but they don't have a lot of say. I'm not even talking about them because they don't have a lot of pull in what's going on. But anyone that has pull on this show, I find it hard to believe that you have any interest or passion in the zombie genre, because I don't see any of it. Nothing leaks out. I want to jump to something that was probably the moment I threw up my hands actively, not just figuratively. And I was like, what are we doing here? And it was this moment on screen. Now, just to cut it short, if you guys remember last season, tell me if this is true, because for the life of me, I had to go back and look for the clips. First off, Fear wasn't on, what was it on? Fear wasn't on Netflix. I think they switched it to Hulu, and I don't have Hulu right now, so I didn't go back and rewatch it, but I watched clips, and this Screech girl, right? Not the girl on screen, but you know, the Screech, the girl in the thumbnail. She knows things that Madison did and said when she was alone with Morgan 7 years ago. How? Someone in chat, help me. I might have missed it. How does Shriek know? And again, don't say like, oh, they were spying on him. No, they weren't. 100% they weren't. Shriek knows what Madison said and did 7 years ago when Madison was alone with Morgan. How? I want to know that. And then maybe that will help how stupid this gets. The next thing that gets so incredibly stupid is we have this younger character, a little rough, but there's promise in the actor who's playing Dove, one of the kidnapped kids. Dove is told, right, literally, your mother was killed trying to rescue you from Padre, right? And Madison was trying to help your mother rescue you from Padre. That's what she's told. She's like, oh no, your mother was killed by Padre. I was trying to help her break you out. And then she's like, who gave her that idea that that's possible? I did. And then Dove turns on Madison. Fucking brain damage. Who wrote that? Did you get into a fatal car accident, get resurrected in the fucking morgue, and then immediately go, I got a great idea for a TV show. Let's have a character say, yes, I killed your father. But that person, they tried to help, you know, your father rescue you from me, but I killed him, so it's their fault. Maybe I missed something, because there's always a chance that it went in one ear and I kind of, what's a good word for it? I kind of rearranged it in a way that they didn't mean it to say. As soon as I heard that, that was the moment I knew there's no hope for this season, and I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. Padre killed your mother. Well, who gave your mother the idea that it was possible to rescue you? Madison? What the fuck is going on, bro? What is going on? And then you got all these people that are turning tables. 1 minute we got like, you cannot get into Padre's fucking his room, which if you did not see the twist coming a mile away, I don't know. Oh my God. I don't want to insult you, but who didn't see the brother was the Padre and Padre was dead? Who did not fucking, the moment they set up the brother, which was never, you know, the brother's not involved in this scenario. And then Padre and the father and all loving relation, we're going to restore humanity. Who didn't fucking see that coming? The moment they go, oh, binoculars. And he actually said, grown-ass boy, right? Grown-ass adult boy is like, oh my God, Dad said that if you don't have binoculars, you can't see the threat coming. Wait a minute. Does he still have fucking eyeballs? Because binoculars is good to see maybe far away, but if you're on a hill, if you have height advantage, you could see at a distance. But what are we doing here if you're looking into the woods? Binoculars ain't going to do shit, you know? If there's shit obstructing your view, not only that, it's just so stupid. He's got eyes, but oh my God, daughter or sister, if dad forgot his binoculars, he's surely about to die. So you knew right away the dad was going to die. But it doesn't even matter because the twist is dumb. It was the kids the whole time. This Padre thing is fucking stupid. Everything about it, even the end when it's like, they know who we are now, but we just relocate. Like they're just going to fucking move. That'll solve their problems. Anyhow, so you get this big twist. You get all this stupid shit that goes on. Now, some of it I didn't mind, like, oh, what's his name? He shows up. They're all, and again, for the 5th time this season in 3 episodes, 5th time in 3 episodes, maybe 6th time, we have characters that knew each other for years, or a couple years. They got separated 7 years ago. Again, in the apocalypse. In the fucking apocalypse. Anyone remember being in the 90s? You know, you knew a kid in school, one of you moved, and then like they disappeared off the face of the earth, but they only moved 5 miles away. You never fucking saw them again until 20 years when someone invented Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the reality in a world that's not post-apocalyptic. And these guys are in the apocalypse. You could go in any which direction, and you're never going to see these people again, ever. But they're always walking in circles, running into each other. So you got Madison. Oh no, guns are at Madison's face. That's right. I got to get back to my point. But guns are at Madison's face. Oh, well, it's up to the boss. Who's the boss? Danny just walks out. That's all the reunions. All the reunions. Somebody walks out of the woods. Hey, guys. You know, holy shit. You know, Danny, fucking Dwight, Sherry, oh, where, you know, just random reunions, face to face, just, okay. That shit, I don't really mind it as much when it's kind of pointless, but I get they're getting the ball rolling. It was nice to see Danny. Danny's an actor I've liked for years now, way back in Predator 2. He was one of the cops helping, it doesn't matter, but I liked him in that. Not Dutch. Joe Pesci was in a movie that was fucking hilarious where he played a slumlord, and that guy was in it. Watch that. It's called The Super. That's one of those movies that's hard to find on like Blu-ray, DVD. I've been on the hunt for it for a few years. I should probably just look it up on Amazon. I can never find this movie. We recorded it on VHS off of whatever service a long time ago, and we watched it growing up, and that's that and Dutch. I found Dutch, but Super is one. I gotta look that up. Anyhow, so they're going to storm Padre, right? Padre is like this, you know, this fully guarded, it's like a prison island, right? This shit is on lockdown, and yet they're going to just sneak into Padre and take it over in the room with the double mirror, the double, whatever. Then they cut to commercial break, come back, and they got past all the guards and all that shit. They show this one interaction where it's like, we're going to get through. No, yada, yada, yada. But does it bother anyone at all that they make Padre in this location out to be like this fortified, if you try to come in here, you're dead. If you try to leave, you're dead. But Madison just comes and goes in between commercial breaks. We never see the in-between, not even hinted. And then they're suddenly in front of this double-sided mirror, and she breaks the mirror. They do this big old reveal, and none of it matters because then the daughter all smugly is like, get her, you know, and all of a sudden guards come out of nowhere. The tables have turned, right? Okay, fine. Madison had the advantage. Then Padre has the advantage. Madison had the advantage. Now Padre has the advantage. So they take her off the island for whatever reason. No one's killing each other yet. These are enemies that are at each other's throats, killing each other's side people, but never the main people. And then they get to the island, and then out of the woods comes Danny and the soldiers, and they do their separation where Dove stays with the sister or Shriek and all this other shit, and then they just leave them. They leave their sworn enemies there. Padre with his facility on lockdown, and they just brought him out to the woods, get surrounded. Now Madison has the advantage. They just leave the sister and Dove, and I think there was one more person. They just leave them there. I should be showing some of this footage, but here's the girl from the past. Yeah, this moment was dumb.
Cried when you pulled her from me on the beach.
No one was there but Madison. I got to look through the comments to see if anyone let me know. This lady was killed by Padre guards off screen, and Madison killed her as a zombie. Yeah, I know. They already show that. We know that, but when Madison is talking to the girl about making plans and all that, when is the information? When does Shriek get the information? Or Screech. That's her new name.
Go on, Lark. She deserves the truth. Your name is Odessa. My name?
It's just so slow. Oh, I forgot the worst part. We're going to get to it. Bro. Watch this. Where's it at? The reveal. I will say one thing. They do a good job making the sister look younger in the flashback. It's just pigtails. I doubt they did much. Maybe put on an extra layer of makeup to kind of give her a younger features or whatever. But they did a decent job. I'll give them at that. Because it did look somewhat younger. Not a big deal. But this is pitiful. This man has a full-on calm conversation while being eaten alive by walkers. Look at him.
I love you both.
Wait, hold the fuck up. Look, he's just chilling, bro. There's even more to it. I made a little clip about it, and I was going to upload it, but even though I think it's shit, I didn't want to spoil it for others, so I thought, let me not upload it. But here's the actual clip.
Don't let this die.
Oh, let this die.
It's too important.
Too important. He's a flesh buffet right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's dull teeth, maybe some broken teeth, the pressure is biting down on him to the point where it's ripping, it's tearing his flesh. Zombie, and this is why I think zombie material is so fucking terrifying, because when you're eaten alive, they don't show it. Like, I just wrote this one scene for something coming up in issue 7 of Doomsday Kingdom, where one of the bites, it's a bite from an animal, not a human, it's an animal zombie, and the bite alone, one bite alone just snaps a limb, you know? And we're being a little more because it's a comic, you got to do flair. But the point though is, like, you get these characters here and there's this pressure there, and then the dull teeth, there's so much pressure there that it actually just rips your flesh, and then they tear, rip, pull, tear, and it's, you know, vicious. Being stabbed is vicious, but that's a sharp object going in and making clean cuts. This is just straight pressure on you until your flesh just tears open, and he's just chilling. This is what I mean by the passion for the zombie genre. There's just no way anyone who's passionate about this genre goes, okay, we got this guy being eaten alive. All right, let's film it top down. And we know, anyone who knows anything about filming knows why they did it like this. Because when you get actors there who are usually paid, let's just say $500 just to be there for the day, and they're that close to this character, his movements, bumping them in the head, headbutting them, hit them with their shoulders. They got their teeth, they're exposing their mouth and their face, and even makeup, even the makeup and masks and how it's all applied. That's why the choreography is very expensive to film, because you're taking weeks and weeks. Sometimes John Wick, they take weeks to choreograph these scenes and then to film them. Imagine you come in and go, all right, well, just stand there and talk your lines. They film it, they get done, out of there. Cost them $20 to film this scene. But imagine if there was this actual fight of him trying to, push them off, screaming at them. There's passion in this moment. Now you got to choreograph that. Now you got to, maybe even the guys around him, 2 or 3 guys are actually stunt guys instead of just random extras. And you're going to pay the stunt performers more. So now you got to bring a crew in, maybe one guy in that choreographs it with like 5 others, the main principal there, and then not the actor, but the main fight zombies. Now you got to bring them in and you got to actually figure out who's hitting who and how are you moving him and shoving and yada, yada, yada. And then you got to film it in a way where you're not hurting them. You could fake a punch and accidentally punch him right in the mouth. And then I don't know how that, as far as liability, that's why the choreography is so stiff, because it's cheaper. And I want to make sure I highlight that, because it's easy, if you're not a fan of behind the scenes of filmmaking, it's easy not to even pay attention to that. But that's why it's even such a bigger flaw, because it's like, okay, well, we don't have the money or we don't care. So here's this scene where we want to pull the emotions from people, but we don't want to pull the work in. You know, it's like you're a weightlifter and you want the gold medal for benching 300 pounds, but you don't want to go to practice to actually put the work in to bench 300 pounds. They want your emotional investment. They want your time to go to this show instead of other shows. They want your money, your time to the fandom to go to this show, but they don't want to put the work in. Anyway. So you get this guy eating up real shitty way. I wonder if there's anything I missed, because I'm already done talking about oh, wait, this is the thing Bro.
I love you both.
Love you both. And then slow-mo. Now, he's being eaten alive right now. There's probably a zombie eating his nuts right at this very moment. Look how calm he is. He's a real soldier, bro. He is a real soldier. There's probably a zombie deep throating the shit out of that. You know, he's biting his kneecap off. You never know. You know, there's a zombie nibbling at his toes, and he's just, look at this. He rock solid, bro. Rock solid. Anyhow, so it's too important. That was terrible. This app is obnoxious for anything that's you're trying to bounce around. So I'm not going to bounce around too much. Just let me double check. Oh, and the way characters get out of sticky situations as well, it's so cheap. And speaking about the locations and the sets, they're doing something very similar to what The Walking Dead did in its final seasons, where they get this really shitty like train car experiment area, and we're constantly seeing them come back to this location to reuse it. Because they have this location, and obviously if you're moving on to a new location, it's going to cost extra money. So they're constantly reusing these locations. And if you start looking at them, you get reused locations, and then you get some areas that just don't hold a lot of interest. It's trying the show, and a lot of roads with like dirt, you know, dirt paths. That stuff's little stuff that is also big, because it's not, when you're watching it, you're not going, oh, I need to see like great visuals, but you do pick up on it, you know? She looks real familiar, but I can't place it. She might just have like that familiar face. But I can't place what she's from. She looks familiar too, actually. The girl who, and that one thing I will say about the writing is that was effective and a good way to incorporate strategic writing into a script. And what that means is you want to try to get the audience to follow your breadcrumbs, but you don't want to overshow your strategy. You don't want to be too suspicious about it. So they have this scene where it looks like this girl could be the mother, and you know, it's Fear the Walking Dead, so it's not overly complex. There's probably a really good chance that this woman might end up being her mom. You know, there wasn't a lot there for me, but I give them credit that they did try to lead it into that direction, because it shows that there was some thought into, okay, let's get the audience to get connected here. And then when we pull the rug out from under the character, we pull the rug out from under the audience as well. I'll give them props on that aspect to it. Again, it was a small aspect, but I at least give them the props on that. And I think that's pretty much done. Excuse me, I need a refresher. This shit is bussin'. Green Machine. Wow. All right. Let me pull up the comments here just so I can see if anyone made a comment about where they were when she was talking about it. The twist is more like a straight line. Ain't that the truth? Madison doesn't need oxygen tanks anymore. I don't see anyone talking about how the the daughter, how Shriek knew what Madison said when Shriek wasn't there and Madison was alone. How does she? I don't see anyone mention it. If I catch it, maybe I missed it. If I catch the comment, if there is an excuse, I'll highlight it. But until then, we're done with my thoughts and opinions. I make it a point to. I know someone made a comment last week about if Ronnie says he's not watching or reviewing Fear anymore, I know to check in. And I just want to warn you guys, overly warn you, the day where a Sunday comes up and I'm just not here and we don't cover the Fear of the Walking Dead, or at least we don't talk about Fear of the Walking Dead, it's a I'm just giving you a heads up. It's a high possibility because even 1 and 2 were dumb, but they had some stuff to discuss, you know? Episode 3 was just so, it's one of those moments where you if you're a viewer, not for every viewer, obviously, but it's one of those moments where if you're on the edge, it's the episode that breaks you, that makes you go, yep, I don't need to show up next week, you know? I could catch it whenever. I'll watch it, you know, never. 2 weeks away from never. Who gives a shit? Oops. Anyhow. Oh, wait a minute. Was that Daniel? Hold on. Was that Daniel and Madison's first reunion? Is that what that was? No. I don't want to cough in your ear. If that's the case, I thought they reunioned. I thought they reunited before. Because again, I skipped last season. I couldn't take it anymore. I was like, yeah, I'm done. Last season, oh man, that was fucking awful. If that's the case, add that to my long list of things that sucked. That reunion was awful. And yo, one thing I notice as well, I understand why they want to save budget. They don't have budget to choreograph, you know, epic horde zombie moments. I get it, you know, because it's a money issue. There's there's an objective line going to that saying we don't have the money to choreograph it. So hold still, say your lines, don't punch the extra in the mouth. I get it. But when it comes to other scenes like Daniel's reunion with Madison, there's no way, take out fighting, there's no way you don't have them ramp up that tension, do this amazing scene where these people think you're with Padre and that's fucking it. They might even execute you, like ramp it up to where they're not believing you and they pull one of them down on their knees and, you know, something like that where there's tension there, there's something actively going on. And I still feel like that's the bare minimum to do a reunion and have Daniel come up at the last minute, or even in a cool way. It doesn't have to be the cliche last minute, but they just, oh man, it was just like, hey, you know, we're against Padre too. We don't believe you. Well, let's wait for the leader. Oh, it's Daniel. That's, you know, oh, hi, Mark. That's how it felt. Anyhow, that's my thoughts and opinions for, I'm done. I talked longer than I wanted to. I think I talked for like 20 minutes. I'm done. I'm shutting up. I'm going to get into the fan